Here we are then, Las Vegas, the third from last round of the 2024 Formula One season. And always a track where you saw it last year and this year, again, it's happened and kind of confirmed it. Because of the very cold conditions, you do get a bit of unpredictability and a bit of, randomness occur. Now, qualifying was very interesting. Now, George Russell is your pole man, a 1 minute 32.3 being the best time at the end of the session. But it was a session of contrasting fortunes for both Mercedes drivers because Lewis Hamilton only got 10th, having a pretty scruffy Q3, but Mercedes have looked quick all weekend, so they're looking like they might just edge it in terms of the favourites for this weekend's race. Now, for me, this is interesting because this version of Vegas on Assetto Corsa has had a lot of work and a fairly decent few updates to it compared to a year ago. So I'm keen to see how it drives, how it performs, and how it looks. So far, so good. Now, other things to know in qualifying, Norris not really performing that well, McLaren struggling, Sainz looking very, very rapid, some drivers like Leclerc struggling to switch the tyres on, and then you've got, decent performers, Pierre Gasly, P3, and also Zhou Guanyu having one of his better qualifyings of the season. Anyway, for this one, we're going to go into a balanced MG UK mode and we're going to get our first lap of the day underway. So, over the start finish line. Oh my god, I broke at the 100 and that was not where you brake. Right, we'll try that again. We've got the tyre temperatures a bit better, so hopefully we'll have a bit more grip. We'll brake a bit earlier. There we go. Now we're talking. Into turn 1, the car reacting well. Turn 2, just a little lift, but already getting the power down pretty early as we open DRS down this straight. Now heading towards turn 3. I'm going to call it turn 3, might be turn 5. Oh, a little bit wide. There was some understeer, turned in a bit early. Now then into the sphere chicane. Breaking out that 100 board on the left side. Just kiss the curbs on the way through. Let the car just roll. A little bit wide there on the apex as we understeer a little bit, but still not too bad. Now absolutely flat as we prepare the left kink before the huge back stretch. We're going to brake at the bridge above. Avoid the wall and now floor it. And now we just take a big breather down this entire back straight, which provided some pretty good racing last year. And I'm hoping for more of the same tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever you want to call it. DRS open quite late on in the straight as we hit VMAX around 336 Ks. Braking at the 100. Oh, just about avoiding the wall, but we absolutely throw the lap away at the last chicane. Definitely need to brake a little bit earlier here. Up to the line. Let's see what this first lap is. First proper lap anyway, 136.1. Now we are on the hards, but we're only 3 seconds off George's time, so work to be done. Got to trim some wing as well. Let's get to work and make some adjustments. Now then, first thing, obvious thing, tyres. Let's whack on some C4s. That should give us a nice bit more grip. I'll keep the pressures the same in principle. Then on the fuel, we're going to halve that to 15 litres, which is 7.4 laps. We use balance, but we'll run a bit higher on that. I'm going to crank up the engine brake a little bit, which works well with these cars. Aero. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to go down at the front by 1 and down on the rear by 2. Alignment for now, we'll keep that as is. Dampers, same story. Generic, I'll put the bias on 54. Should be okay with that lock in the rears. And I'll also lower the ride height as it's a fairly flat track. We'll go down by 2 front and rear. Let's see how these adjustments feel and take it from there. Let's see then if these changes help us out. We're going to crank up the MG UK to attack mode. So we'll be a bit more aggressive on the battery on this one. Let's see, already using quite a chunk as we head down towards the start of the lap, now down towards turn number 1. Decent grip. A little bit of oversteer, back end getting loose. I wonder if turn 2 will be flat come the end of the session. For now though, it still requires a little lift as we head down this straight. Braking super late. Clunking over the curb. Finding some time there. Braking a little bit later into the chicane. Try to keep the speed up. Let's get this apex. Unlike last time, there we go. Straighten the car up. You can see in the top left, up by 0.6 of a second. Braking late into the left kink onto the back straight. Finding some more time. And now we just wait for the DRS. Still got a decent bit of battery left over. There it is. And now let's just try and clean up this chicane. We should find at least a second here, hopefully. Braking a little bit earlier as we are running a bit more engine mode. Gave up some time on the entry. But look at that, on the exit, we find a nice big chunk of time. About a second, as I mentioned, over the line. And it's a 1:34.3. That's a good improvement. And we can now throw on some soft tyres. Now more of the same in terms of the adjustments. So we'll go for the softs and get those on. That's going to give us a nice bit of grip. We're going to drop the fuel now pretty much to single lap fuel. So 7 litres, enough for 3.5. Electronics, I'm happy with the engine braking, to be fair, from that run. So we'll leave that as is. We'll run attack mode, which is the highest, but we'll pair that with motor, which will give us a bit more juice. Aero, I'm actually going to go down again. I think I can go a bit lower and get away with it. And to kind of compensate, I will just knock some of the camber and toe settings into the negatives a little bit here, just to try and have a bit more of a edge on tyres. Now I'm going to also push the bias to 53 with that lower wing to get a bit more rotation on the car. The ride heights, I'm going to go an extra click and hopefully we don't come unstuck. I'm also going to lower the roll bars front and rear, and that should hopefully give us a bit more rotation. So let's give this a crack and see if we can already possibly beat it on this next lap. Right, let's put everything to the test and let's see if we can beat that time. I think it's going to be possible already on this lap. We've got to try and find 1.1 seconds. So let's get to it and let's see how we get on. Full speed ahead as we get the lap underway. Oh, maybe not. A little bit wide there. We're going to have to quickly run that back again. I tried to brake at the 100, but it was a bit too much. Right, same engine modes. Let's try that again and just make sure to not brake as late for turn 1. Here we go. Lap underway. Nice, braking super late. Back end trying to fight. Ooh, didn't really get the initial part of the apex there. Had to wait to pick up the throttle through turn 2. Look at how much we're gaining on the straight. Big heavy braking into turn 3. Got the car stopped and we got the throttle back on nice and early. Braking nice and late into the chicane. The soft tyres are working well. Yeah, we're cooking on this one. Really good lap so far. And we're just going to gain free time down the back straight. Braking a little bit earlier with the overspeed of the extra engine mode and lower wings. But look at this, we're on course already. Just got to keep it tidy through the last chicane. A second up. There's the DRS. 1.1. We're absolutely just flying around Vegas. Braking at about 125 meters. Straighten the car up through the chicane. Oh yes. Here we go. Up to the line. We're going to smash it into the 31s. Not quite. 32.5. Woo, what a lap. What a lap. There's a little bit more in that, I think. So I'm just going to make a few final tweaks and we'll go for one more shot. Now, I made a mistake. The pole time hasn't been beaten. We need to find another 2/10. I thought it was a 33.2. It's actually a 32.2. So we go again with some more adjustments to see if I can try and shave off a bit more lap time. Now, I've gone even lower on the wing because if you can make it through the corners, it's just free time on the straights. So far though, not exactly working out. That was good. That was a really good turn 3. Best one of the day so far. Braking a little bit late into the chicane there. Had to take a slightly compromised line. Also missing apex there as we just over push it a little bit. I think there's a little bit of time here through the kink. Oh, we're in a bit deep. That's going to hurt our exit. There was time on the entry though. And we're actually still up, so we should be able to recover and actually gain some time on the straight now with the wing adjustment I've made. Opening the DRS. We need 2/10. Braking super late there. Getting the car stopped. Not the best exit, but it's enough. We've run out of battery deployment, but it doesn't matter. This should do it. Definitely now. Over the line we go. 1:32.1, and we beat George by just about under 1/10 of a second. Whew. Right, let's give that another shot. I reckon there's a sub 32 in there with a slight cleaner lap, I think. You know, improvements turn 1 will help us a bit, so let's give it one more shot. What a lap. What a lap. We put it all together there. There was no major time loss. We changed our line again into the kink before the back straight. Braked a bit earlier, but really got that exit right. Whew. Great, great lap. Really enjoyed that. So here we have the final car setup. Now the gear set ratio, I never mentioned it because you want to use general. There is a quick shift option, but for Vegas, that back straight, it's irrelevant. You want to have the higher, longer gears, of course, for that top speed. The tyres, C5 softs. I did actually lower the pressures on all four by a click to get more temperature. Fuel, 7 litres, didn't change that, of course, from the earlier change. Electronics were set to attack, and motor with the 911 engine brake. Aerodynamics 2 and 1, very low, but you could hear just by the engine note at the end of the back straight how it was really maxing out that rev range and hitting the top speed. Alignment, I actually put the camber more central, brought the toe more into the negatives for the front and the rear. Dampers, I kept default. Generic bias down to 51 in the end. Could have gone even maybe 50 to be fair. Heave dampers, default suspensions, I basically lowered all the roll bars, pushed all the wheel rate up, essentially improving mid-turn and improving initial sharpness. The ride heights, 20 on the front, 70 on the rear, very, very low, and even 0 rear roll bar for just better traction, and then everything else was default. Hopefully the race is fun. It should be fun. It was a cracking race last year. I really enjoyed it, and there seems to be lots of moving parts and ingredients. You've got Russell, Sainz, Gasly in the top 3 positions. You've got McLarens up there, Red Bulls up there. It's a very mixed up grid, so anyone could win. It does seem like the Mercs have a little bit in the tank, but race pace is different to single lap pace, and you never know. Hamilton also fighting through from P10 could make things quite interesting. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the episode and hopefully you enjoy the race. Smash the like button. Let's try and hit over 1,000 likes on this episode, guys. Subscribe for more videos like this, especially during the off season as we take on the retro Can I Beat the Pole Lap series and the new Can I Beat the Track Record series. In the meantime, all the mods will be linked down below, guys, so go check those out. Also check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. A massive shout out to the members, of course, as always. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.